connect. Talking the talk with Kate and Jim, and walking the walk, just listening. The perfect match, Kate and Jim, getting at it. Kate and Jim, I'm gonna smash it. Reviews, previews, opinions and laughter, mixing transfer news is what you're after. The perfect match, Kate and Jim, getting at it. Kate and Jim are gonna smash it. Reviews, previews, opinions and laughter, mixing transfer news is what you're after. The perfect match, the perfect match. You just got to latch onto that perfect match. The perfect match, the perfect match. You just got to latch onto that perfect match. Keeps a positive spin while Kate's doing the Mickey Hazard name dropping. Gets you out of the blue like let me stop rubbing, or she's flip flopping. Hell, this place is popping. The perfect match, Kate and Jim, getting at it. Kate and Jim, I'm gonna smash it. Reviews, previews, opinions and laughter, mixing transfer news is what you're after. The perfect match, the perfect match. You just got to latch onto that perfect match. The perfect match, the perfect match. You just got to latch onto that perfect match. Jimbo always keeps a positive spin while Kate's doing the Mickey Hazard name dropping. Gets you out of the blue like let me stop rubbing, or she's flip flopping. Hell, this place is popping. Perfect match, Kate and Jim, getting at it. Kate and Jim are gonna smash it. Reviews, previews, opinions and laughter, mixing transfer news is what you're after. The perfect match, the perfect match. You just got to latch onto that perfect match. The perfect match, the perfect match. You just got to latch onto that perfect match. Jim always keeps a positive spin while Kate's doing the Mickey Hazard name dropping. Gets you out of the blue and let me stop rubbing, or she's flip flopping. Hell, this place is popping. Always keeps a positive spin while Kate's doing the Mickey Hazard name dropping. Gets you out of the blue like let me stop rubbing, or she's flip flopping. Hell, this place is popping.
Welcome back to Kate and Jimbo. I'm Kate, he's Jimbo. Just in case there's any confusion there. Hope everyone is well. It's Thursday the 12th of June and we're still waiting to hear the announcement that Thomas Frank has become the manager of Tottenham Hotspur. No panic. I believe it's all going to happen. It's just dotting the I's and crossing the T's, as they say. But Jimbo, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. He's our manager. It's all done. You know, there's rumours that he's even signed the papers already. It's just sorting out the backroom stuff. So He's our manager.
Yeah, exactly. We haven't been streaming because there's not a lot to say. And everyone's just been streaming, talking about when Frank comes. And you know what? We just decided we'd do one today, thinking maybe it might be announced today. A lot of people think it might be announced. Shut up, Jasper, tomorrow. But apparently the last 4 managers that we've had, or 3 managers, have all been announced on a Tuesday. Ooh. Just a bit of useless.
What's today? Is today Tuesday?
No, it's Thursday.
Well, it starts with T.
Yes, darling, and it ends in day as well. Let's have a look who's in the chat. We've got a very generous super chat from our friend Vindaloo. Saying, love the way Jimbo is always in capitals. Big up Jimbo and Kate. It's like I'm just a spare part. Busy at work. I think Thomas Frank's a good coach, and if he gets backed, he will do very well. Have a good one and have fun. Thank you so much, as always, Vinda.
Yes,
you're always so generous.
Vindaloo.
And I agree. I think if he's backed, he'll do wonders. But that's the thing, if he's backed. We've got Champion Drula in the house. Saying afternoon, you gorgeous couple and chat. Big up Drula. We've got Shemtan says good afternoon, Princess Kate and Sir Jimbo. Hope you're both well. Turned 60 yesterday, and Spurs are making me feel like I'm 90.
Yeah,
happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday. And in 6 months, you'll feel 30 when we're top of the league.
Happy birthday to you. I hope your mum's okay, Shem. Afternoon, Jane Ketley. Good to see you. Paul's here. Says afternoon, Kate and Jim. Hope you're both well. I think Frank's going to surprise a lot of the fan base. He's a very tactical-minded coach and knows how to adjust to change games. Hope he upskills our players. Yeah, I think you're right. I think a lot of people throw in, oh, he's never won anything, and he finished here, and here, and he lost to this team. But he was under Brent. He was playing. No, he wasn't playing. He was managing Brentford, who were on a real shoestring budget. So you've got to put it into context that if he then gets a better squad of players, better investment, then he's going to do better. So it'll be interesting. I'm quite excited for the new season. Best couple in the world, Kate and Jim. Big up Giddy Haps. What a nice thing to say.
I think we're the best couple in the world as well.
I think maybe Posh and Bex might beat us. Although I don't know if they're as nice as we are. Big up to El Barcelona legend, says love to Kate and Jim. Big up to you. Good to see you. Barbaric Disdain says, good afternoon, Kate and Jim. You beautiful pair of young whippersnappers. Smash the likes and subs, people. It's been a bloody long time since someone's called me a whippersnapper, but I take it all day long. El Barcelona says, breaking news, Rodrigo will stay at Madrid. Arsenal will get Sterling on a permanent. They're not serious. I very much doubt Rodrigo will leave. I said it on the terrace. I just don't see him leaving, especially to go to Arsenal, because I think if he goes to Arsenal, he's basically giving up winning any trophies. But honestly, no, I think I just didn't see it happening. But I can't see you surely not keeping Sterling. George is here. Big up George. Says good luck to Frank, but Andrew's the only one who dared to do, and he did. Yes, he did.
Well, George, we got to give Frank time to see if he can dare to do. Yeah.
Exactly that. It's no good saying after 10 games, well, Ange won his first 10 games. We've got to give this guy time, clean slate, and see what happens. Shem says you're right, so Jimbo, the quad is on.
Jeez.
Mario is here, says afternoon, Kate and Jim, all aboard the Thomas the Frank engine. Woo woo! Come on, you Spurs. Cassandra is here, says hope all is well with you guys. All good here, hope you're well. Good morning from Denver. Much love to the perfect match. Homie's in the chat. Big up, Leo. Much love to you and your gorgeous family. One for Jim. I put a £20 bet on Spurs to make the Champions League final at 76-1 with an odds boost. Wow.
That's good because they were actually, I had a look, they were 40-1 to win the Champions League.
Wow.
That's what I saw. So I think 76-1 to get to the final is good.
What's your expectations for the season for Frank? Jim, I'll come to you first on this one.
Win
it's
the
difficult
league.
We don't know what players are going to come in.
To win the league. that's what's in my heart. No, yeah, we've got to see what players he brings in. I think he will attract players, Kate. I've seen a few people saying that he won't attract players. I think he will because he's obviously very well respected. And when you look what he's done, Brentford, he's done fantastic. I've been listening to Sav in the last couple of days, and he gives you stats and that, and it's really impressive. It's really impressive what he's done, with the budget he's on. And he always loses to get his best players season in, season out. And he makes players better. So I think players will come and play for him. So I think we'll get some good players in. And I would say top 6. If he got into the top 8, I wouldn't be disappointed. But top 6, realistically, I think we can aim at with him.
I would say top 7. I think it's got to be a European spot. I know the Conference League is 7th, but I would just say top 7, ideally top 6. But I think that will be the kind of sort of, what's the word? The, what do you call it? The prerequisites.
That's a list.
No, the prerequisites that the club sort of tell him that they want him to achieve, a European spot.
And a cup would be nice.
Yeah, a cup would be nice as well, but a European spot, and it'd be nice to get sort of the quarters of the Champions League, somewhere around there, if not win it.
Yeah, but look, let's not be if he doesn't make top 6, let's not all fall on him.
No.
Let's give the man some time. But I think that he will do well at Tottenham. I really do. I think we've got the basis of a really good squad here with a few more thrown in there. I think we could do well under Frank.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it for sure.
Just a little bit of transfer news. Leroy Sané has signed for Galatasaray. That has gone through. Modric is going to sign for AC Milan after the Club World Cup. Kevin De Bruyne has just landed in Rome ahead of medical tests. He's expected to be unveiled as a new Napoli player. Trent Alexander-Arnold has been revealed as the number 12 for Real Madrid, and he did a press conference and he spoke in Spanish. So he's really done his homework and learned Spanish in a quick amount of time, which is impressive. This is all from Fabrizio Romano. The Real Madrid president, Florentine Perez, have said about Trent, we've signed a legend, one of the best in the world. Trent's dream has come true. You have chosen to play for Real Madrid, the biggest club in the world. We have a great relationship with Liverpool. They are our dear friends. And yes, he went on, Trent, to do a speech and then did it in perfect Spanish, apparently. He didn't put a foot wrong. And obviously there was news earlier in the week that Liverpool verbally agreed in principle with Bayer Leverkusen for a package reaching 150 million euros plus add-ons. Oh, no, including add-ons, sorry, for Wirtz, which is unbelievable money, Jim. They smashed all the transfer records to get that guy over the line. So I don't think there'll be any bigger deals than that this week. For some reason, my StreamYard isn't bringing up comments. Is yours, Jim? Or is yours still on the last one that I'm on?
No, it's
just caught up. It's just caught up. Sorry, it all completely froze. So let's go back because we are so behind now. Big up Chris Agenbar, number 1 Agenbar in the world. The odds are better outside the UK. Those bookmakers are tight there. I'm in Espanol and got it on PokerStars Sportsbook. Okay. Big up to Nick, the legend Lazy 8. Says people are frustrated about Frank not being announced. Try waking up to a manic 10-year-old who just found out that all the Labubu's are sold out. What is my life? I want a Labubu as well.
What is a Labubu?
Aren't they the little furry things that go onto handbags? They're like little collectible furry things that clip onto your handbags. They're fabulous. I want a Labubu.
I thought a Labubu was like having a poo-poo.
Paul says, regardless of who we get in, we should be abreast and be qualifying for Europe through the league and at least one good domestic cup run, hopefully knockout stages of the Champions League. That's me. Yeah, I'm just not. I mean, Lazy 8 says Europe's a must. I think that's what the club will insist on as well. But like Jim says, if he doesn't achieve it,
I think he will, Kate.
I think he will, but I still don't want people to get on this guy's back too soon. My hope for this season under Frankie goes to Tottenham is top 7 and knockout stages of Champions League. Joey Barton's here, and he's going to be serious in a moment if he may. You may. I will get to your comment in a minute, Joey. Boris is here, says I could personally see Frank finish 6th in a cup if we fully back in like we reportedly said we will. This is it, Leo. Expectations, sure. Obligations, no. Exactly. Does Trent speak Spanish with a Scouse accent? No, he actually speaks beautiful Spanish. If Levy controls the purse strings and transfers, then Frank is on a hide into nothing. Time for the club to finally show ambition and back a manager properly. Big up Wayne Bonner.
How many times we said that, Wayne?
I was just going to say, we say that every pigging time. El Barcelona legend has said, Trent has been learning Spanish for a long time. You can tell it was a classy speech. Yes, it was very impressive. You see a lot of these footballers go. I mean, Harry Kane was trying to do a little bit of German, but you can tell that Trent's worked really hard on getting that. The pronunciation and everything was perfect. But I
had to learn English to come on here.
Exactly. And you're still not that good at it. I'm just waiting for Joey Barton's serious comment to come through. A bit of something about Thomas Frank I did want to talk about is that he's considered to be very adaptable. He's not as stringent on playing possession-based football as Ange Postecoglou, and he is liable to change it up week to week. Ange Postecoglou was criticised all the time for being predictable. Teams knew how to play against us because it was the same. Whereas Frank, he might play pragmatic one week. He can play 3 at the back, 5 at the back, 4 at the back. He's very flexible in his approach, which I think is really important. Joey Barton said, so thanks to you and a couple of other people who have done mental health streams, I've sat down and started to write a book about my life. Getting all my shit down on digital paper is very upsetting, but stuff that needed to come out, and it's proving to be very therapeutic. I might put it online for others to read. It may help someone know that they are not alone. Apologies, that's not Frank's related. Joey, that's amazing news. Well done to you. I started doing the same thing at one point, but I couldn't do it. It was too hard for me to write things down. But if you can do that and it helps, it's amazing. So well done to you. Because I remember when we first did the mental health stream, you were quite closed, and then you gradually opened up a little bit. So yeah, that's something to be really proud of, Joey. We are actually going to schedule a mental health stream and get that sorted out. But yeah, well done to you. That's brilliant.
What about we got some stuff to auction, haven't we, as well?
I know, and I didn't bring it up. I have put photos on the community page, but I think maybe I need to actually show the pieces. So I think I'm going to have to do a stream where we show the auction items. So we've got some beautiful stuff. The Kulu picture is magnificent, and the lovely picture of Poch. But they are all on the community page, but I will bring them out and show everyone. Already got one that's gone already. Someone bid on it, and it's gone.
Which one?
One of the Mickey Hazard prints. So Boris says Frank's probably the most adaptable manager in the Premier League, bar people like Pep or Howe. Yeah. Alexander Hilton says steak and chips, I'm going to say. Mark Taylor says, hi, guys. Big up to you, Mark. Hope you're well. Drula says, come on, 40 watching, only 17 likes. We can do better. And big up as well to the 29 people watching on Twitter or X. Thank you very much for watching. Paul says, he plays to the players' strengths. He will design a tactic that works for our players, hopefully reduces the injuries we seem to carry on season. Yeah, those injuries were just bloody ridiculous.
But there's not going to be so many sprints up and down the pitches there for the for people like Van der Ven. So
it does make you wonder as well whether Sonny might actually thrive if he does stay. I mean, I personally hope that we sell him and get a fee for him. I think it's time that he tries something new. But let's say we do keep him. It does make you wonder if he will thrive because he's not going to be asked to run as much. I mean, he was just knackered this season. You could see it. He's not getting any younger. And Ange ran him into the ground, really.
And he had some problems in the background as well, Kate. That was probably mentally draining.
Yeah, exactly that. Simon says, fully aboard the Frank train. Boop, boop. Excited now for the new season. Jane Ketley clapping Joey Barton. Yeah, well done, Joey.
Well done, Joey.
PFC TV, big up to you, says, keep up the good work. Wayne Bronner says, hopefully more will get a bit more game time next season, along with the likes of Gray. Looking forward to seeing Vuskovic next season. There are rumours about more going to West Brom to link up with Mason for a year. And there are a lot of people saying that Archie Gray needs to go on loan. I mean, I don't know what you in the chat think about that, whether you think he could do with a loan spell or whether you think he's good enough to stay in the Tottenham team. I mean, Jim, what do you make of Archie Gray?
Well, I think I would bring a player in, take his place and put him out on loan. I mean, it wouldn't hurt if Gray and Moore went to West Brom with what's his name?
Mason, yeah,
sorry. Yeah, I don't think it'd be a bad idea if they went with Mason, even though I think that he done well this year, Gray, because he was used all over the place. But that's what I would do. I don't think starting him in that role is going to be ideal.
I wonder whether Leeds would be interested in taking him back on loan for a season because they've just come up to the Premier League. They love Archie Gray at Leeds. I mean, that's not a bad option, is it?
No.
To send him over to them for a year. Crooksy says, afternoon, guys. Let's get behind Frank from the start. Top 6 trophy will do me and see some of our youth really make a stamp. Also, I think Spence will get a real look in with Frank. I hope so. But no, Leo, well worked out. We was talking about this. Sonny's not
No,
been
he hasn't, Leo. I looked.
any of the new kit launch. So that speaks volumes. I remember when Kane came out and he was in the kit launch, and we was all like, "Oh, he's definitely staying. He's in the kit launch," and then he went. But Sonny's been omitted, which is very unusual. Joey saying more should be loaned out. I think let Grayson have these. Grace, that's me thinking of my nephew. Let Mason have these players to help him in his first job at West Brom, and let him have them on loan. Maybe more. I still think Gray to Leeds makes sense for me. Paul says, question for you guys this year with the Champions League and expectations of our fans, where does the youth get to play? Maybe in the domestic trophies, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup.
Well, you got. I think the thing is, Kate, if you're not slinging them all in at once, you can integrate them, and I think Frank would be good at that, integrating them. I mean, it was like with Ange, it was like they played when we had no one else. You know, when we had so many injuries, which I don't think is really good for their development
or confidence.
Or confidence. But I think it's a good shout to loan Moore and Gray out this season.
Yeah. Archie Gray will blossom under Frank, as Frank wanted him at Brentford, and same with Johnson, as he wanted Johnson at Brentford too. Yeah, I'm just not sure whether, like I say, I don't know whether sending him to Leeds might be a good idea. I can see more to West Brom for the experience, but I can see Frank keeping Gray. Didn't he want him and Johnson at Brentford? There's an echo. Drula says that Sonny has been included in some of the ads. I haven't seen
ones I saw. I never saw him.
No, nor did I. Three for All says apparently there's a tug of war between Tottenham and Brentford over bringing in Justin Cochran, former Spurs academy coach. Frank wants him. Brentford want him as their new manager. Wow. I knew there was something going on because I've seen a couple of things been said that there's a bit of a not anything that's going to end the deal, but there's been a bit of toing and froing about something, but I didn't realise that's what it was about, so it's interesting. I'd give Gray a Prem loan at Leeds or Sunderland. Sonny won't be sold for any less than 50, as he's not worth any less. At that point, it's just worth keeping Son due to ticket sales, commercial revenue, and tour sales too. Well, you got to remember as well, though, we've brought in that other Korean.
I don't know if is he coming in or staying out on loan.
I'm not sure, but you can't just keep him for T-shirt sales. I mean, if we can get, I think we should get 60 million for Son. That's what I think, because of his marketing ability, as well as the fact that it's Sonny, captain of career. And I think if we get 60 mil, we should sell him in a heartbeat. And hopefully he'll come back and be an ambassador, because we all love Sonny, don't we?
That's what I think is going to happen to Davis, Kate. I think
I love Davis as well.
He'll end up in the background somewhere doing something like Mickey Hazard does and Hoddle and them.
Swim Master says Gray was in the first team game after game after game. Why take a backward step with him? Yeah, it's
you just look at it that way.
Yeah, it's just what's the word? It's just a talking point. I just think if he's going to go on loan, he could go to Leeds, but he might choose to keep him because, as everyone's saying, Thomas Frank wanted Archie Gray. So Wayne says we have the Korean kid as well. Interested to see if they keep him at the club or send him on loan again.
Yeah,
we do love to do that, like Belize, and then we end up selling them, and you wonder why we ever really bought them in the first place.
Yeah, to make money on them, probably.
Yeah. Paul says I would love Gray to stay, but bring a monster 6 in he can learn from. We need experienced players to teach these kids.
Yeah, that's a good idea as well.
Gray's a bit lightweight to be a 6, I think. And I think he needs to sort of beef himself up a bit, which will come probably with age. But
when he was there last year, I thought he struggled a bit.
Yeah, I agree. We do need a monster 6. That's a perfect way to put it. Cassandra says, personally, I want to see a build on this past season. Nothing less than another trophy will do me, and a proper challenge in all comps. That's high expectations for a guy's first season. But you never know. Good afternoon to you, Ed. Hope you're well. Drula says, if Frank's a good coach and he develops players, why wouldn't you keep Gray? Look, it's just an idea. I'm not saying I definitely would get rid of him because I was impressed with Gray. I actually prefer Gray in defence than I do in midfield, though. I said it all season. But then a lot of people have said we haven't properly seen him have a run in midfield, which is fair.
That's the thing, Kate. He was thrown in there every now and again last season, and I think he struggled with it. But because he needs a run there, then I need to see how he's going to do.
Yeah. I've got itchy nose. It's bloody hay fever. I'd keep Gray until January at least. Let Tommy Frank have a good look at him. That's probably what will happen, to be fair. I tell you what, this pollen count, I've just opened the window because I was hot. Straight away, my nose is streaming. Leo says, I think our current squad coach better than last year can cook. We've got great players yet. I think, I mean, let's be fair, our team is definitely not a 17th place side. We've got the nucleus of a very good squad.
Yeah.
I think Maddison has shown that I think he'll thrive under Frank. I think Maddison will be the player that improves the most under Thomas Frank. But then you look at the defence. Obviously, we don't know what's happening with Romero, but we've got Mickey, we've got Udogi, we've got Porro. All these players have shown what they do. Who?
Dragusin.
Danso as well.
Yeah.
You know, we've got
you know what, Kate? I think that last year, some of the games that we watched, I was kind of a bit confused with where the players were meant to be playing. They seemed to be all over the place for whatever reason. I don't know if it was down to them or Ange. I mean, Ange is in charge, so I suppose he's got to take the flak for it. But I don't think we'll see any of that under Frank. I think they all know what their jobs are and what they're meant to do. But last season, I watched some games and I was like, they're just so disorganised, you know.
Yeah.
And they you'd see a player all over the place, and it was I don't think we see any of that under Frank.
No, I think you know what, but the big thing that's going to happen, I think, when Frank comes in, he's going to bring calm and a bit of normality, because it was a bit crazy last season. There was headlines about Ange's press conferences. You know, it was just all a bit chaotic last season. I think it'll be a bit calmer this season. I'm actually really excited. I didn't think I'd be sitting here, even for things like the pre-match pump-ups on We Are Tottenham TV. They were hard last year, weren't they, Jim?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I'm looking forward to that, having that buzz again about the football club, because I think we really lost that last year. Paul says, Gray might have played game after game, but not in his position. He played 3 games in midfield, and as soon as our first 11 was back, he was dropped.
Yeah.
This is true. Tribe is here. Big up Tribe. Says, Sonny, to be honest, Angeball didn't suit Sonny. I think a 1-year contract extension is better. Facts are, Sonny far out wide just isn't his position. No, I agree. Maybe if Frank could play Sonny and Solanke as a striker pairing up front, or a better striker. I'd like to buy another striker, because I think Richarlison will end up going to Everton. Don't know why we don't go in for Gyökeres. I really don't. That would make the fan base so happy. But we'll see. Boris says Yang performed well at QPR for the first 6 months he was there. All depends on what Frank wants and what he sees in pre-season. Yep, spot on.
Is he back at Tottenham now then?
Who? Yang?
Yang.
I don't know.
Yang Ming Hook in it, something like that.
Yeah, Yang Min Hoik or something.
Hoik.
I'm not very good at pronunciations. Barney says, Gray back to Leeds in the Premier League is perfect for him. Well, that's what I think. But at the same time, I will be more than happy if Frank keeps him. I'm not advocating for him to go on loan. I don't think he desperately needs a loan. I just think it's an idea. But if we could bring in a really good number 6 and have Archie Gray learn from him, that is just as good an idea, in my opinion. All of the players will thrive under Frank due to not being injured every week and then being out for 5-6 months. Yeah, there is that, Boris. Paul Van Beek says, hopefully Gray plays in midfield tonight and has a good tournament for England under 21s. That will set him up well for next season. Yep. Yeah. Absolutely agree. These players, especially the young ones, should be excited. They should, Leo, because Frank is known to develop young players, all players, in fact. So I would think there is an excitement around the club. I think there was a little bit of discontent that Ange Postecoglou got sacked amongst some of the first teamers, but it's football. You have to kind of just get over yourself and move on. And I think it's quite exciting. No, he hasn't been announced yet. I set this stream up on Tuesday for Thursday, and I thought it would definitely be announced by then. And I couldn't be bothered to change the thumbnail. So,
well, I did tell you not to change it, but there's no point because he is going to be coming.
yeah.
You know, I have read that the papers have been signed already.
Yeah, I think it's any time. I think it'll probably be tomorrow. Cheer everyone up for the weekend. But like I say, it's one of those things. I'll be amazed if it doesn't happen. So, but Jim said, don't bother changing the thumbnail, Kate. It's going to happen. So I didn't. Bergvall with Frank as his coach looks promising. Yeah, Bergvall, one of the highlights of last season, without any shadow of a doubt. Really got high hopes for him. Boris says, I'll say this from my source, and it's come out that Ange and his coaching staff were at war with Ange and his staff wanting to rush players back, but medical department didn't agree. That's why most of the medical department was sacked. I have heard that actually from somebody else. So I think there is some truth in that. Levy will bring in another top Asian player for commercial reasons after Sonny leaves. Matoma, Kubo, Asmun, Kyogo. I'll take Matoma. I'll take Kyogo, although he's just gone somewhere else only last season, I think. I'd love Matoma. What a player. What was Ange ball? I didn't see it. All I saw was us wide open at the back and 20 shots at our goal. Was that Ange ball? Well, I think so. More open than Bonnie Blue. But
at the end of the day, right, he's gone now, Ange. So doesn't matter, does it? He's gone. You know, I was one that thought that he would come in for the third season, that he deserved it after winning the trophy. But he's gone now, so we move on. We're always as a fan base. I think everybody who's a fan will be thankful to him for after 141 years. After 41 years, bringing in that European trophy. So
David Ornstein has just tweeted Tottenham Hotspur to complete Thomas Frank appointment after the agreement struck to take Justin Cochrane as assistant. Deal held up by talks over the 43-year-old, wanted at Brentford and elsewhere, but opted for THFC, joined by Chris Haslam and Joe Newton. So I think it's fair to say we should be getting an announcement from Spurs anytime. I'm just seeing whether anything's come from Romano. No, it's David Ornstein that's announced it, but I will keep an eye on Spurs' page to see. I think the announcement will be any time. But thanks, Drula, for the heads up with that. I did see that she said that David Ornstein's announced it. So I'm not overly excited and have doubts, but at least I know we won't be in a relegation fight. Ed, I think that's fair. I wasn't convinced, but I looked a lot more into Frank and I'm excited and I really like him as a guy. I think he's such a nice guy. I know nice guys, that doesn't mean anything to anyone, but I found Ange to be really arrogant and rude at times, and I don't like feeling like that about my manager, whereas I just think Thomas Frank has got pure class. I think he's a real classy guy, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. And I think he's earned the right to have a go at a big club as well.
Look, you never see anything bad about him in the news conferences, and I mean I've watched a couple of videos on Brentford supporters talk about him, and they're absolutely devastated, and they reckon that if he'd held out, he might even got a bigger club than Tottenham. So they're saying we're lucky to have him, that he'll do wonders here. So I mean, they're people who watch their team week in, week out, so they should know.
Thank you, Drula. Just sent me a picture of Sonny in the new kit launch, and I've sent it to Leo as well. So Drula's got her finger on the pulse today. She's reporting David Ornstein's coming in with breaking news. She's sending me pictures of Sonny in new kits. She is on the ball. Boris says, "Well, I will say this from my soul." Oh, I've read that. Now I'm not on the ball, as you can tell. This is Jim.
I'm going to sack you and bring Drula in.
Jim, you said this the other day, and I actually disagreed with you. But you said you think Ivan Toney would be a good signing.
I think he'd be a really good signing for Tottenham. I think he'd fit in well. I was an advocate for him before, Kate, if you remember.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not one for. They can talk about his gambling and what he done. I'm not one for harping on that. He's made a mistake. We all make mistakes in life. Move past it. He seems to have pulled himself together. So I think he'd be a good fit.
Yeah, I just think I don't think he'll come back to England. I think his reputation's too tainted here.
It's
So
not too tainted, Kate. There's lots of footballers that have made massive mistakes,
yeah, most of them end up playing abroad.
yeah, no, I think he could come back and he'd be fine.
Oh, a little bit. Something else. Pat
He got
Jennings.
big for England.
Yeah, that's true. Pat Jennings, happy birthday to you. What a legend of a man. It's his birthday today. That was on Spurs Official. Darren Fearon says Levy's probably trying to persuade Frank not to bring the backroom staff because of the wage bill. It's a good coup, I think, to get his right-hand man when he had a choice and he decided that he wanted to come to Spurs. So I like it a lot. Tribe says, I've heard a few fans say loan Gray out, but again, he looked poor in an extremely poorly coached side. I said I was Angie, but after watching loads of Thomas Frank content, I flip-flopped. Tribe, welcome to the flip-flop gang. I am the queen of flip-flopping. It's not flip-flopping. It's changing your mind based on new information, and that's what sensible, intelligent people do. So welcome to the club. But Jim,
It's not that. It's not only that as well. I mean, we all support Tottenham Hotspur. I mean, I can't even remember all the managers we've had. I've seen so many. And it's all right supporting a manager, but when they move on, you're still at Tottenham. We're still Tottenham supporters. You know, I want to see Ange do well. I do. You know, I like to see most of our managers that have done us a turn do well. But at the end of the day, he's gone now. We move on to the next manager, which is Frank. So behind Frank.
Fabrizio Romano has just tweeted, Thomas Frank will become new Spurs head coach. Here we go. Agreement done with the manager on contract terms and staff. Brentford set to release Frank for the fee in the region of 10 mil. He is the replacement for Ange Postecoglou. So it is. We've got the here we go. We've got the David Ornstein. We're just waiting for the official confirmation from Spurs, which I think will probably be about 2:00, maybe before. We shall wait and see. But exciting times, Jimbo. You were right to tell me not to change the thumbnail. It's like we had a crystal ball because as we were streaming, it was announced.
Yeah, I was before we come on this morning. I was thinking it'd be nice if it was announced while we was on stream, so we were the first ones.
The thing is, there'd be 1 million people come on stream as soon as it gets officially
announced.
Yeah,
but we would have done the news already, darling.
Yeah,
one step behind us.
Darren Fearon, it's our ex-youth coach. They're wanting him to become the new Brentford manager, as that's how Brentford do it, replace their current with one of their assistants. Well, he's coming to Spurs, which is wonderful news. More open than Bonnie Blue. That's a bloody result, getting Frank's wingman. Yep. I'll say this, my source told me this last night. It was all down to Justin Cochran getting that over the line, and they were right. Says Catman Jess. Been seeing the same Thomas Frank confirmed for 10 days now. For days now on YouTube. Apparently he's been appointed manager 100 times. But it's been confirmed by David Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano. We're just waiting, Ellie, for the Tottenham Hotspur official announcement. She says, are they waiting for the Hugo Boss suit photo with gelled hair to be released? He has got a great head of hair, Thomas Frank. Can't just celebrate trophy and bask in all our glory. Have to see 1 million times that Frank confirmed before he's even in. I know what you're saying. This is why we avoided streaming, but it is as good as confirmed now. We're literally just waiting on the Tottenham Hotspur announcement, which should be any time. Paul says it's like a movie. We've all seen the previews. It looks exciting. Now bring on the main event and I will make a decision at the end of the season. Come on, you Spurs. I hope everyone's like that. I hope this brings back a little bit of unity to the fan base. I don't know if it will.
I think it has already, Kay. I think it has already.
Do you?
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be as much people having a go at each other and screaming and shouting about Ange, and I mean maybe Jacob Zipp's exception, but he is funny, I have to admit, the stuff he says. But look, I think most people are on board with it already. You know, I mean, I've been watching Savile the last few days. He seems really happy. He's his streams have been quite chilled.
The thing is, right, no matter what happens, we are all Spurs fans. And I've never seen the fan base as divided as it was under Ange. And there was wrong on both sides, Ange ins and Ange outs. It was so extreme, both sides. And we just kind of felt a little bit in the middle of it all because, well, it put me off. I cut my YouTube down loads. People will have noticed. I went from doing 5 shows a week to 1 or 2. But we're all the same fan base. We need to unite and back this guy. And I really hope it brings some unity back. This last year or so has been horrendous. Simon Hill.
I mean, if you're losing game after game, right, you can understand people being upset. You know?
Yeah, it's not the upset. I get that. It's the name calling and the shouting and screaming at each other and disrespect. Schedule comes out this week. Waiting to see November's games. Planning on taking my wife to Tottenham. Oh my God, Leo. We will be back in the country in November. So do let us know if you pick a game, and we will try our utmost to be there. We're in Cyprus in October, but we will be back for November time. It's just finishing getting on their coaches, which has been done. Let's have a go at Ange now he's gone. Let's make unsubstantiated claims on injuries and medical staff. Barney, that's been happening all season long. No one really knows whether...
we have to move on from Postacoglu now. He's done a great job in the sense of winning us a trophy. I mean, look, at the end of the day, we should all be grateful to him for that because he's kind of took so much away from us off of our shoulders, and we can laugh at Arsenal. It's worth praising him just for that.
He is a Tottenham legend, whether people like it or not. He is a Tottenham legend for winning that trophy, sure. And I will be eternally grateful for that. There's no words to how grateful I am. But
I think that's one of the reasons they never sacked him too quick, Kate, because they wanted everybody to enjoy the trophy win. I mean, if 5 days later they'd have sacked him, it would have kind of killed it. So they left it a few weeks, which I think was a good thing. I don't think it was a bad thing. I mean, I'm sure they were working on Frank while he was still our manager. You know, but they didn't want to kill the vibe of the cup win.
Yeah. Afternoon, lovely Jess. I hope you're well. Good to see you, my lovely. Romano's given the here we go. Yeah, when you get the here we go. The only time he was wrong about that was Willian. He did give us the here we go.
Yeah, you know you're on thin ice, Kate, because Drula actually put that in before you brought it up. So you're on thin ice.
Why am I on thin ice?
I might swap you for the
show.
You
haven't got that power. You haven't got that power. Chris Amadeus says, come on, you Spurs. Big up to you. Good to see you, my love. Bonnie Blue is a dude. His name is Cole Butler. He's in his 30s. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Don't tell me that. I can't look. Boris says, Ivan Toney too old and he ain't cutting off half of his 400 grand a week at minimum. We're not paying 200 grand a week for a player who's 30. No, I agree. Keep well away.
Is he as old as that, is he now?
Yeah. Big up Gary Beck says, hi Kateandjimbo, new subscriber though. I know you both from elsewhere. Oh, who's Gary Becks? He's got a picture.
Do you know what? I've seen his name about.
He's got a picture of what looks like that guy, Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, he's Burt Reynolds, yeah.
Gary Becks, who are you? Let us know who you are. Oh, the mystery. Paul says, Romano has reposted the here we go. Looks like announcement imminent. Ooh, exciting times. Our squad is very good. They just didn't turn up enough for Ange. Yep, there's a very strong argument there.
It was a very weird season, Kate, wasn't it? Because there were some games, I said this last season on some of our streams, some games you go out there and you could see they were absolutely fighting to the death for him. Then other games you watch, like when we watched Ipswich, we went to see the match. They were pathetic.
Yeah, they were pathetic. They were absolutely pathetic. Ben Jacobs has announced it as well. So has Talk Sport. Big up El Dante. Always lovely to see you. Hope you're well. Usually you get an email from the club. Yeah, that will be coming soon, I'm sure. The coaches, I did read them out. Where are they? Let me go back to David Ornstein. He said, I'm going to moan again. Bloody hay fever. So he's bringing Justin Cochran as the assistant, along with Chris Haslam and Joe Newton. They are the coaches coming with him. I always think it's better when they bring their own coaching staff. I'm just going to put that out there. Fabrizio just tweeted. Yep, he did. Let's have a look. Who needs slow sports news when we have Kate and Jim? Exactly. We've got our finger on the pulse. Joey Barton's coming out with, I'm going to do a Jim. We're winning the quad. I like this Joey Barton. I'm loving Joey Barton. All aboard the Thomas the Frank engine. Choo-choo. What time the official announcement? I'm going for either 1:30 or 2. But the fact it's broken on every single news channel, it could be literally any time. Under Frank, says Gary Becks, we will see a productive midfield of Burvale, Gray, Saar, Maddison, Benson, Kirby stays, but it won't be apparent immediately. But the biggest get is Cochran. Yeah, by all accounts, his coaches. I'll also say this as well, another sneaky bit of info for you lot on here. We didn't continue going for Gomez as Frank didn't want him. Oh, that's interesting.
Who said
that? Boris.
Boris, you got your finger on the pulse, didn't you?
I feel like I've got a room full of Sky Sports correspondents.
Maybe Boris and Drula should start a stream.
Breaking news with Boris and Drula. Leo, big up Leo. He's been a member for 10 months. Says, I'll miss you, Ange, but this one's for Frank. Big up to you. 60-40 split approximately. Hope we get unity back. Yeah, there will always be unity on this channel. You won't get no screaming and shouting and hooting and hollering. We like to keep it calm and fun and whatnot. So, and yes, you do have to grow your hair and wear sandals to join the Frank cult. It's official. Drula says, we haven't got a choice, but I'm happy with it. It's our club. We need to back it. So you guys think 2 p.m. Yeah, basically 45 minutes. I think within the next 45 minutes, we'll have an announcement. But Simon thinks they'll drag it out till tomorrow. Joey says, I've never liked Ange, but he did what the likes of Poch, Jose and Conte couldn't. Exactly. Gary says, Ange won a trophy. That alone, after he's gone, should be big enough to unite the fan base. If it isn't, and you need to keep slagging him off, you need to look in the mirror and reevaluate yourself.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Well said.
Comment of the day there. True story this. Last summer, I wore my full kit Tottenham tracksuit and someone at the airport thought I was a player.
So you was a full kit wanker, Ellie.
Ellie, you should have gone along with it. You should have given an autograph and everything. I would have, 100%. Tribe says, to anyone in the chat, if you have a spare 2 or 3 hours, there's some excellent Thomas Frank content on YouTube. High Performance Podcast. Oh, TalkSport just sent me a notification. It's very good and some excellent tactical analysis. Thomas Frank is set to become Tottenham manager after winning a tug of war with Brentford over highly rated coach Justin Cochran. TalkSport understands Spurs are in talks over the England coach following Frank to North London. The Bees wanted to keep him and had shortlisted him as a contender to succeed Frank as boss. But this has now been resolved with Cochran following Frank to North N17. Frank's agreed terms with Tottenham and Chairman Daniel Levy has agreed to trigger the release clause of between 9 and 10 million. The delay in Frank being announced was over discussions with the backroom staff. Blah, 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 blah. They finished 10th and a massive 7 places and 18 points above Tottenham last season. Unreal. But yeah, so TalkSport have officially announced it. So come on, Spurs, get your finger out. Gary says that's a coup if we have Cochran, who was our under-16 coach before leaving to coach England. He's a quality coach. Yeah, by all accounts, everybody's saying the same. Big up, Mark. Good to see you. Big up, Steve RFC. Big up, Beyond 72. So, Ellie, when people used to ask, I always wore Fila. I said I played tennis when I was younger and was sponsored, and they bought it. Yeah, welcome back to Justin Cochran. I don't get why people are still slagging Ange. As it stands at the moment, he has a record of winning trophies at every club he's been to. Exactly. I think he gets a lot of disrespect that's unwarranted. And like I say, no matter what happens with him, I wish him nothing but the best, and he'll always be a legend in my eyes for getting us the Europa League. I don't buy into this. Oh, it was a really easy, like, we had a really easy route to the final because there were people pooping themselves. We were going to lose to Frankfurt, Bodo Glimt. I don't buy it. He got us. He can only beat who's in front of him. He got us to the final. He did what he had to do. We won the final. That's it.
Kate, in 100 years, when they look back at the history books of who's won what, right, it doesn't matter. We've got that third European trophy, if you include the shield we won 4.
Boris says, seems the United set piece coach really wants to become part of Frank's team. And if we get a set piece coach, that will improve. All I will say about that is that the Man United fans all said that their set piece
coach. News at Spurs. Crap. Hang on. You keep talking.
Oh. Jimbo's doing the breaking news from Sky Sports News, which I assume is the Thomas Frank announcement. Come on, Spurs. Please do it while I'm online. I want to play the funky video. Let's see if Sky Sports have put anything about it. You'll have to excuse my blocked up nose because it's hay fever, I'm afraid, and it's horrible. Chris Cowlin, Tottenham are now close to agreeing compensation with Brentford for Thomas Frank. Blah, blah, blah. Sky Sports breaking news. We understand Thomas Frank. Oh, that's a joke. No, nothing particularly on here. Big out Harlem's Potato. Good to see you, my man. Big out Ian Ferguson. Good to see you too. Joey says the hold up was Frank wanted 20 quid a week in Chip King vouchers and Levy was only offering 15. Do you know what the funny thing is? There's probably some truth in that somewhere. Oh, can you imagine if that was true?
It's going to be announced very soon, they said.
Excellent. Steve says, if Thomas Frank comes, what do you expect from him would be a good choice? Would you have preferred a different coach? Look, I wanted Glasner or Poch, and then my next choice would have been Thomas Frank. So I'm well pleased now. I've had a good chance to think for it to sink in, get over the fact that Ange got sacked after winning us the trophy, and I'm actually really pleased, Jimbo. What about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't sure if it was a sideways step. I didn't think I said it wasn't a backward step, but I wasn't sure if it's just a sideways step. But after watching lots of content on him on YouTube and listening to people talk about him, people that have worked with him, people that have played under him, and I hear nothing but good things about the guy. So I'm going to take it that it's a forward step. So I'm expecting, all right, Lisa, I'm expecting big things from this guy over the next few seasons.
Morning, Lisa Chica. Good to see you, my lovely. One of the new coaches we've taken from Brentford is their set piece coach, and they had the most goals for set plays. Well, that's good.
Yeah, I thought that, Kate. I thought I read that he was coming.
Well, then we're not getting the one from Man United, which is good because apparently all my Man United friends said he's crap. They said he's the second worst set piece coach in the league. So I hate people downplaying Ange winning the Europa League when no other manager has done it for 40 years, but I also understand letting him go due to the league. Yeah. Do you know what, Beyond? I was a bit emotional. It took me a minute to really get to grips with what they've done because I think part of me really believed he deserved a chance. But when you actually sit down and the emotions die down and you look at it realistically, the league form wasn't good enough. But he will always be a legend now in Tottenham's history. So there we go. Boris says, everyone, including myself, thought we would lose against Bodo away due to their pitch and the record they had in Europe, almost unbeatable on that pitch. Do you know what? I've still never had a Chick King, ever. I don't know if I'd like it because I don't like KFC, but I've never, ever had Chick King. I think I need to do a Chick King next season, Jimbo. Simon Hill says, it's Thomas Frank Day. Happy Thomas Frank Day. It's no longer Thursday, the 12th of June. It's Thomas Frank Day. Gary says, chances are QT will leave, but don't be surprised if he stays. Frank will build a team around him and elevate him level-wise. He has Nathan Collins. The ceiling is just even higher. You said something about Collins to me the other day, Jim.
I was watching a guy. He was on We Are Tottenham TV. He was a Brentford supporter, and he said that he's transformed Collins into an unbelievable player. He said that he could have been their player of the year last year. He was that good. So they said they will be absolutely devastated if he brings Collins to Tottenham, if Frank brings him to Tottenham.
Beyond 72 says, get ready to change your title. Would be a great touch, him being announced while you're on. It would be rather nice. I wanted Frank before we took Ange, so I'm really happy, says Mark. Lovely dog there, Mark. Paul says, I think Romero signs a new contract and becomes club captain. I agree. I don't think he's going anywhere, and I think he will warrant a new captain, a new contract and the captaincy after the way he performed in the Europa League. I think Romero's really turned a corner with a lot of the fans, me included, because I was really, although I did have him down as being our player of the season this year, and although he wasn't that, he redeemed himself. Europa League final, it was a proper captain's performance. I thought he was.
Well, I saw someone say that if we never had him in that final, we wouldn't have won it.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But I agree. I do worry a little bit for Brentford. Joey said it. I do too. I do think if Poch was available, Levy would have gone for him. But I think Frank's a good appointment. I think it's what we need. I do think it's what we need. By that, I mean everyone will see Romero the way we do. World-class elite. Yeah, he's a great player. And he get another one who gets disrespected. And I get it when he used to be getting sent off and doing rash challenges, but he's really sorted his shit out. And I think he needs to be commended for that. Big up Tottenham Rangers says, I wanted Frank too before Ange, so I can't complain. Set piece coach equals more goals for the centre backs. Yep, indeed. He hypes up every single manager he's played against in the Premier League. He does it to get into people's heads and guilt trips people. Let's hope Levy don't pour cooking oil instead of steam to prevent Thomas the Tank Engine to flow. Smash the likes. Yes, please do, people. We have got 103 people watching on YouTube. Thank you very much. Please smash a like. And we've got 46 watching on X. Thank you for watching on X as well. You're all absolute legends. On Thomas Frank Day. Ian said Chick King's better than KFC. I can't say. I've never had it. See you later, Spud. Good to see you. Isn't Keith Andrews a set-piece coach at Brentford, former assistant to Stephen Kenny with Ireland? Less said about that rain, the better. I've got to be honest and say I don't know. Jess says, good luck to Spurs next season and Thomas Frank. Jess, how would you feel if Spurs decided to loan Archie Gray back to Leeds for a season? Let me know how you'd feel. It's just a discussion. I'm not saying that I think it should happen. It's just a discussion. To only miss out on European football by 2 points with the second lowest wage bill shows how good of a coach Thomas Frank is. Yep. Collins has been linked to us, and being a conspiracy theorist, he wasn't in any of their end of season photos. Tinfoil hat. They have a history of good recruitment. Their fan base ain't worried. I hope that it doesn't screw Brentford up. I really hope it doesn't.
Oh, Frank?
Going, yeah.
He won't. He's not that type of person.
No, I don't mean by raiding them. I mean, I hope that Brentford still carry on being as good as they are. That it doesn't, because a lot of teams, they lose their coach. He's been there for, 7 years? It could completely change the trajectory of their football club. They must be worried about that. I'm not. We'll blame Frank for all transfer targets we missed out on. Could have signed Eze, but only because Frank didn't want him. Nothing to do with the board. Yeah, I hear you. Big up, Lumen. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Gary says, and sacking video comes down to what the remit was. If it was to get us in Champions League places through the league, then he failed. If it was to get Champions League and a trophy, well, then he overachieved. Yeah, this is true. Nick says, I think Romero stays this season, doesn't sign a new contract, unfortunately. Nick. Maybe you see how Frank does. You never know. We'll see. Chris Amadeus, I can see it's going for both Poch and Emma Hayes after their respective World Cups. Hayes is a lifelong Spurs fan. Oh, I didn't know that. I don't think he would have gone for Poch. I personally think this decision has been made because of footballing decisions and to build sustainable success. You're probably right. Levy's going to regret making this dumb decision. Half the team will leave over his stupidity. Good luck, Frank, building from ground zero. Levy will give you 12 months for his section. Surfs Oz, I take it you're an Ange fan. He's not building from ground zero. We've got a nucleus of an excellent side there. I think that's a very over-dramatic statement, and I don't see him getting sacked after 12 months either. I get that a lot of people are hurt by Ange being sacked, but I think that's a little bit over the top. Jess's room full of Spurs shirts and a magic banjo. Yes, we all know Jess loves Spurs. Just caught Sean Butler's morning walk vid, and he understands agreement for Romero to leave. Just don't know where yet. Oh, no. I hope not. Who could stay? Because Levy will probably price him out of a move this summer. Romero, Richie, Son, Basuma, Vic all want to leave, according to rumours. Kate, Lone Grey to Leeds. Frank only took the job because Grant Johnson knocked his come to Brentford off a bat. Yeah, do you know what? It was just a talking point. It literally wasn't. There was no rhyme or reason. It was just a lot of people have been saying that Archie Gray should go out on loan. It was just, I put it forward as an option.
I don't believe this thing about all the players wanting to leave, Kate. At the end of the day, they're employed by Tottenham Hotspur. They're not employed by Ange Postecoglou. Tottenham Hotspur pay their wages. So these things happen in football, and they know it happens. So you just have to move on from it. I don't think I definitely. But what was the names there?
Richarlison, Son, Basuma, Bentancur, Vicario.
No, I won't have it.
No, I won't either.
No, I read a report that Van der Ven was really unhappy and wanted to leave. I don't believe it. They're employed by Tottenham. They get their wages paid by Tottenham, not by Ange or Frank. You know, that's part of the job that managers change.
Darren says that he went to listen to the Brentford fan streams. They're not worried. They're happy he's left the club in a good place. Good. I'm glad. I know Natalie Sawyer from TalkSport's a massive Brentford fan.
They said they're going to miss him.
Yeah. Finn says Ben Jacobs has said Thomas Frank's move to Spurs now all agreed with compensation in the region of 10 mil. Not too bad. I get folks are still upset about Ange getting sacked, but come on, lay off Frank. Yeah, agreed. It's not his fault.
It's what you support a club. You see managers come and go all the time, you know, for whatever reason, you know, and he won us a trophy and we'll be forever grateful. But he did finish 17th, so you can see both sides of the coin. You know, if he'd have stayed, I would have been happy because he won us a trophy and I thought he deserved the third season. But they've sacked him and I understand why they've sacked him. You know, so we just have to move on and get behind Frank.
Yeah, I mean, these people that are Frank out already, I know Jacob said he's Frank out already, but
it's not supporting the club, is it? It's supporting the manager.
Exactly.
So if you're going to support Ange and not Tottenham, then go and follow Ange wherever he goes. That's the way I look at it. You know, you can do both. I mean, I really wish Ange well, and I will be watching wherever he goes next and hope he does really well there. But my priority is Tottenham Hotspur. Yeah,
Joey says, give me written documented proof of a player that's left the club because a manager's been sacked. Yeah, I get you. I think Lange was buying players for Frank, not Ange. Ooh. Van der Ven will go to Liverpool in 12 months, maybe. But that won't be because Ange isn't there. That will be because they're the bigger club than we are and win everything, and he wants to go there. Oh, excuse me. I found it hilarious that one of the ex-Brentford managers said Spurs was a step backwards than Brentford. How disrespectful. Ian, I agree. I was one of the biggest Ange advocates, but even I know we reached a magical point with him. Apart from the trophy and our players solidifying, is the only good thing that's left. Yeah. Very true. Thomas Frank will coach Archie Gray. Frank's record at making players into top players is there for all to see. Let them go would leave a nice transfer kitty for Frank to build the team he wants. Paul says, what baffles me is how players can enjoy losing every week. I get you might like the manager, but come on, surely they all know Frank will make all these players better. Who does not want to improve? Yeah. And I mean, even Maddison, and when he was interviewed, he said it was awful for us every week losing and sort of saying the same thing. You know, it must be just like deja vu, week after week after week. Gary says, guys, don't you think it's funny we haven't had an official Frank join Spurs, but everyone knows his targets? Yeah, everyone knows best. Jesse says, I'd love him back at Leeds, but Thomas Frank wanted Gray at Brentford. I seriously think Frank gets the best out of him. I hope so. I really like Archie Gray. I really, really like him. Big up, Nige Pure Coys. Must get you on the channel soon. Hope you're well. Good to see you. I'll say this, and England fans will agree with me. And was our Southgate, brought all the players together, and the next manager will take us to higher places. I hope you're right, Boris. I like that theory. If all these players wanted to play for Ange, then why were our league performances so poor when many of these same players were playing? Well, that, my friend, is the $1 million question. I would like to know the answer to that. But yeah, as Jim said, we went to see Ipswich and they definitely weren't playing for Ange then.
No, they weren't.
Ange wasn't making them lose. The players were average combined with 13 injuries. I don't think our players are average. Some are, but I think, like I said about 4 times this stream, our nucleus of our side is very strong. It's just making some tweaks. Won't be VDV Liverpool buying a young centre-back from Rennes as long-term replacement for Van Dijk. There we go. Tribe says, we as a collective lost way too many games after the first 10 games. It's all been downhill from that Chelsea game in Ange's first season. Stats are something like 38 wins in 94. Yeah, which is just not good enough. It's as easy as that. Paul says, for me as a salesperson, if I perform badly week after week, but at the end of the year hit a jackpot deal, I can guess I would still be at risk of losing my job. As like any job, it's your overall performance. Exactly. Nigel says, would love that sometime. Excited by Frank in this summer. Yeah, we will sort it out. Do not worry about that. And we will be doing the pre-match pump-ups on We Are Tottenham TV. And we're always looking for guests on that, aren't we, Jimbo? We like to mix it up every week and have different people on. So I will get your number, Nigel, from someone and be in touch about that. Still no email. Waiting for Daniel Levy to email me. Still no confirmation from Spurs that he has signed for us.
What?
Did you just say something to me, Jim?
I'm talking to the dog.
Oh, just reading some more about Frank. It says efficiency is the name of the game for Thomas Frank, and that could be crucial in a busy season at a club expected to take cup competition seriously and facing at least 8 games against the best teams in Europe in the Champions League. Brentford are one of the most efficient teams at both ends of the pitch and have been throughout Frank's reign. In a data-led environment, Brentford have long worked hard to increase the chances of their shots leading to goals. The numbers prove they're putting this idea into practice. In the Premier League this season, just gone, the average expected goals value of each Brentford shot, 0.14 XG, was higher than any other team in the Premier League. A season before, they had ranked second with 0.13 XG, and the season before that, they were first. In fact, in their last 4 seasons in the Premier League, they make up 3 of the top 10 seasonal averages for XG per shot, which is quite incredible, really, for a team like Brentford. I mean, when you actually look at their stats, they've got the highest...
their stats are off the chart on some things.
Highest rated Premier League teams by season of percentage of shots inside the box. Brentford are first, in front of Liverpool.
I read this the other day, Kate.
I mean, what's this? Let me just check. Oh, it's all right. That was about Trent Alexander-Arnold. Let me share that. Where are we? Share this tab instead. Percentage shots inside the box. Brentford 24-25, 77%. This was the top. Second was Liverpool with 74.2. In 22-23, they were first 73.8%. Second, Newcastle 73.7. the stats for this Brentford team are pretty impressive, Jimbo. And I'm not really a stats person, but you can't argue with some of the things that this guy's done with a team where they literally are on a shoestring budget. The amount they've spent under this guy is just unbelievable. So you've got to be excited. I think if you're not excited, then maybe football's not for you.
Hey, it doesn't matter who our manager is. At the beginning of the season, I'm always excited.
You're just an excitable little puppy, aren't you, Jimbo?
Of course I am.
Of course I am. Justin Cochran returning to Spurs. He was a coach of the youngsters at Spurs. Yeah, big up JL Engravings. Big up Wilton McDonald. Says, good morning, Kate and Jim. I'm not disappointed with a change of manager. He wasn't sacked for winning the trophy. But 22 out of 38 does not say things would be different next season. Yeah, agreed. You never know what might have happened. Ellie has just booked her flight for Bayern Munich in August. Go on, Ellie. I assume that's the Champions League final, is it? Or is that this August? I don't know what's happening.
Can't be the Champions League final in August.
No, it's not, is it? It's this August. And we've got
it's the what's it called?
Super Cup.
Yeah.
John Curtin says, I would love Ange to be successful at his next club to make Levy look like a knobhead. And
you know what, John? There's a very good chance he's going to be, because he's been successful everywhere else he's been. You know, I just think, I said to Kate the other day, when you actually sit back and think about it, that this guy's walked into our club. We haven't won a trophy for 17 years. We haven't won a European trophy for 41 years. And this Aussie man wanders into our club and says, I always win in the second season, and does it. It's just amazing, really.
Yeah. Jess, another one who says they worry for Brentford this season. Yeah, I think it's fair. I saw that Frank doesn't like players shooting from distance due to the low percentage of scoring from distance. Yeah, I saw that as well. Fiona said, afternoon all, we're now finding out who are the Ange fans and who are the Spurs fans. Good to see you, my lovely. Paul says, Premier League this season, 38 games played, 1-11, drawn 5, lost 22, a win rate of 28%. I mean, that's unacceptable for any club, let alone a club of Tottenham's size and stature.
But we can forgive him for that last season, because he won us a trophy, and we're moving on this season. So I don't want to harp on finishing 17th, because he's give us something that we've been lacking, and what he's give us is just immense, and I will be forever grateful for it. So I don't want to harp on what he didn't do. Let's harp on what he did do. Well, what did Joey say?
Imagine if that pop-up ad was for some porn site. I've always admired Frank. I think he would do well if the club give him time, and that's what managers don't get. We will see more of a team effort, which was sadly lacking in Ange's tenure. Club World Cup, pre-season, and all of their best players end up getting sold off, so Frank has to deal with new kids, and in turn has to find out how to bring the best out of these new kids Brentford brought in. Yeah. Bayern are playing in Cincinnati along with Dortmund. Oh, are you going to go? Scott Parker has been linked to the Brentford job. Breaking news. Thomas Frank will be announced soon. I doubt any other Premier League teams will touch Ange. No, that he's favourite to get the Scotland job. He obviously likes it in Scotland, but he's favourite to get the national job there. So if he gets it, good luck to him. Can you imagine if Frank wins the Super Cup? Oh, is my mic?
I know. I mean, that would be fantastic. His first proper game, and he wins the cup. I mean, that would be funny. But that's typical Spurs. But it's going to be very hard.
Jim.
Yeah.
Is my mic or I'm not echoing?
No, I can hear you.
All right. It's because I dropped it.
You dropped the mic.
Ange come to the MLS, coach the Rapid, Ange is back on. Oh, that would be great for you, Leo, to be fair. Don't underestimate the impact. This is Come On You Purrs. I like the picture. It looks like our old cat, Ruby. Don't underestimate the impact that Frank's coaching team will have on our players. They haven't been coached for 2 years. Frank will automatically improve what we already have. I think that's spot on, actually. Levy won't look a knobhead. That's a silly take. We're at the top table because of Levy. You can't ignore the good just to promote the bad. Irving Scholar nearly saw the end of Tottenham. Yeah. Surf, I will say this to you. I understand you're an Ange fan, but try and keep it a little bit more positive and like not so argumentatively negative. At the end of the day,
look, at the end of the day, Surf, he won us a trophy, and you're right there, and we should praise him for that. And I'm not one to harp on the league because it don't really matter to me now. That season's over. We're still in the Premiership, and we've walked away with a massive trophy. But I don't think that if anybody is sensible, well, I don't think they can really say they don't understand why he never got sacked because of the league form. But look, he got sacked. We've moved on. He's given us something that'll be with us for till the day we die. Now we move on to Mr. Frank and see what he can bring us.
El Dente says, if Ange gets the Scotland job, does that mean they'll win the World Cup at the start of his second season? I think it'd take a miracle for Scotland to get anywhere near a World Cup. JL Engraving says Spurs could play in the UEFA Con MEBOL Club Challenge against River Plate. That'd be another trophy.
Yeah, but they're saying for some reason that it might not happen.
They're saying we've got too many games. Can't schedule it in. Smash the like, says Jess. Thanks, Jess. I'd love us to get Eze. I don't care who else we signed. I'd love to get Eze. I'd also like to get Semenyo or wherever you say it, from Bournemouth, because it looks like Mbeumo is going to go to Manchester United. So I think Semenyo would be the next best thing. Carrick to Brentford and to Borough or outside shout Leeds. I think he will end up at Scotland. I've seen him linked to Leeds and stuff, but I've just got a feeling. All right, my lovelies. Big up, Graham. Spurs GCTV. Good to see you, my love. Come on, you Purs. That's ludicrous. You have no idea what's going on in training sessions. Again, unsubstantiated. Now, let's keep it friendly. Franklin's coaching team will definitely improve the players. Come on, you Spurs. Scotland job. Angie's not Harry Potter. Exactly. I think it would take more than Ange Postecoglou to get Scotland a World Cup somehow. I just see the pictures of that flight that was going to Gatwick that crashed in India. Very strange. Very, very strange. But there you go. I'm not putting my tinfoil hat on. I'm desperately waiting and hoping that in the next 10 minutes they announce I was going to say they announced Thomas Frank's coming.
Frank, yeah.
I mean, Jimbo, his first test is going to be probably. I mean, you couldn't ask for a harder game playing PSG.
PSG.
I think people have got to go in there with very low expectations, right?
Yeah, no, I'm going in there thinking we're going to win it. I'm not going in there with low expectations. No, darling.
Well, no, but what I mean is you won't, if we don't win it, you won't be like, oh, he's useless.
No, of course not. I mean, they're the best team in Europe at the minute. They've proved that by winning the Champions League. Win the Champions League, you're the best team in Europe. So, no, if we lose it, as long as we don't get smashed 10-0, but I think it'd be a good game. It'd be a really good game. It'd be nice to watch their players as well and see how we do against them. So, as long as we don't do an Inter and get beat 5-0.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it, we're going to win it. We're going to win it and bring home another trophy.
Yeah. We haven't actually launched this channel yet because I've got to do an intro and stuff, but we will be doing some fun stuff hopefully over the summer over on No Balls Just Bollocks, which is a channel that's nothing to do with football at all. It's just a place for chilling and having a laugh, which is kind of what we're doing here, but it'll be the same, but just not about football. I want to see PSG playing most of their B team as a club World Cup. If a team wins it, they earn 100 mil across the entire comp. I still think
as much as that, is it?
I still think they've had a top their main team out. Jim said we would beat City. We did. Jim said we would win the Europa League. We did. Jim says we will win the Europa Super Cup. Trust Jim. He also said a lot of predictions that were wrong, but we won't go there. We'll stick on that positive note.
Don't focus on the negative. Focus on the positive.
Okay. Yes, I'm actually looking forward to watching the team again. Oh, hallelujah. Hopefully no more naps. Like there's a couple of times I actually fell asleep watching Spurs, which never happens, but that's how it got me. All jokes aside, Ange is a top bloke. He's Tottenham and embodied to dare is to do. The only person looking bad from his sacking is Levy. I thank Ange, understand why it happened the way it did, but love. Yeah. I think it's a grown-up way to do it.
What?
To be honest, I think that is the absolute grown-up way to do it. It's kind of like, yeah, thanks for the memories. Yeah. Julia's saying Fabrizio Romano's announced something. That's about Bert's. Thomas Frank can be considered as new top. Oh my god. Let's share the screen. La la la, diddly da. It's all happening. I feel like a proper correspondent today. All this breaking news. Fabrizio Romano has just this minute tweeted Thomas Frank can be considered as the new Tottenham head coach. Here we go, confirmed. Justin Cochran will also join as assistant with Brentford, due to receive compensation worth over £10 million. So it is just a case of the very final announcement coming. Big upside dancer, Thomas the Frank Engine. Which should be in time. Look at that dog. She's such a sap, honestly.
She loves her dad.
Bonbon.
Where's Mummy?
Bonbon.
Where is she?
Bonnie Boo. Will there be a mental health chat? Would love to see it. Mine is rock bottom. I will try my very absolute best to get one in next week, El Dante. Things are a little bit crazy here, but I shall make the time and do one next week. Is there a day that's better for you or a day that you can't do? And I'll make sure we don't do it when you can't be there. What else have we got? I'm not going to judge Frank on his first season, but he needs to win some at second season. PSG 8, Spurs 0. I'm going 6-0. Sorry.
No chance. There's no chance whatsoever of that.
How do you know?
What, PSG 8, Spurs 0?
There is a chance, you know.
No, I would bet anything you wanted. No way. No way.
Well, we haven't got that long to wait. El Dente, hang in there, homie. Yeah, we're all here for you. You know what my email is? It's on the site, justagirlwholovesspurs@gmail.com. If you need to reach out, please do, El Dente. I don't know if your phone number's anywhere in the community, if you're in any groups, but feel free to email us. Jimbo and I will always get back to you. Always.
100%. 100%.
Ed says, as long as we're not in danger of being relegated, and we won't be, there's far too much talent in the squad. Anyone half competent would get us mid-table minimum, so Frank gets the season. Come on, you Purs, says 22 league defeats, playing one way and finishing 17th would lead me to believe the players were not coached. Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair assumption. Thanks, Mile High Hotspur. Thought all the rain earlier was my tears from the week. Oh, El Dante, you will get through it, my love. God gives its biggest challenges to its strongest warriors, as they say. Frank is a quality appointment. I'm more optimistic about him than Redknapp, Jose, Conte, or Nuno. I feel this appointment is so sensible. Yeah, I think it's exactly what we need. Do you know what, Surfs? I'm going to just put you in a timeout. Let you just try and... He's just being very negative, slagging off Frank, slagging off Levy and everything because Ange isn't the manager. We're not Ange FC. We're Tottenham Hotspur FC. Get on board with...
we was behind Ange. We was behind Ange. And most of the people, I would say 70% in this room was behind Ange and wanted him to do well. But at the end of the day, he's gone now. So we have to move on.
Yeah. Big up, Chris Pete. It's always good to see you. Hope you're well, cleaning away. A post from Justin Cochran from 2019 has just arisen, and it's a picture of him sat in the stadium. What talked about a lot of players he signed and trained. Okay, that'll be interesting.
Breaking news.
Frank can get Conference League easily and win it. I think I think we've got to aim for top 7 and then hope he can get there. Okay, I shall try and do it Wednesday or Thursday. I'll leave it with me and we'll schedule one. We won't be Tuesday, it'll be Wednesday or Thursday. I'm trying to think what we got on next week. Wednesday or Thursday will be fine. Just keep an eye out, El Dante. I don't know if you want to come on or you just want to come and sit in. It's up to you, but let me know if you do want to come on as well. Eze will give us the extra boost, and Jim, I'm with you. I see us winning the Super Cup. Good afternoon, Niall. Good to see you. The dear Deaconator, big up you two. Only just found your channel. I think people need to do their research on Frank. He's so much more than a manager and is exactly what we need. Big up the Deaconator. Welcome to the channel. Glad you found us. And I think you're right. I think there's so much more to him. He's a coach, tactician. You know, he's got so many positives about him. And I think people just look at him and go, oh, he's the manager of Brentford. And what have they ever won?
He's meant to be a very good manager with the football and in their private lives as well, that he takes interest in it to make sure they're all right. And if they got problems, they can go to him. But that's what managers should do in my eyes.
Yeah. So I think you're right. I think people do need to look into him a bit more. Like someone said earlier, there's so many YouTube things. There's one where he has dinner with Gary Lineker. He's got a no dickheads policy, which I love. Thomas Frank said he's got a no dickheads policy. That's my policy as well. I did make allowances for Jimbo, but apart from that, it's like...
Well, I'm glad you did, darling, because I love you very much.
You know I'm joking. Boris says, a lot of Australians now angry because we sacked Ange and didn't stay with him due to his poor form. And did you see an Australian mayor tried getting in contact with Levy? Do you know what? I saw that. That is so embarrassing. I thought Jim was winding me up.
No.
I just don't know. Choo-choo. Deaconator, we have a members show that we do every now and again where people who are members can come on. So there might be, and we're going to do a mental health chat next week, which is not a football thing. Obviously, we talk about mental health, something we're really passionate about. We do a lot of fundraising for Legend on the Bench, which is a mental health and suicide prevention charity. So we do let people come on and have their say. Memberships are from 99p a month as well, so we don't rob you. I know a lot of memberships are very expensive, but we've kept ours 2 years not next week, the week after. It's 2 years this channel opened, and we've never put the memberships up. They're still 99p, and they won't change, because the most important thing is it gives you a chance to come on, and we love our members. We love everyone, actually.
It's not about the money for us. It's about, it's nice to make the money just to pay back what we lay out, because it does come
what Kate lays out.
But it's not about the money with us. It's about making sure everyone has a good time in here.
It's not about the money. We don't need your money. We just got to make the run. Forget about the price tags.
And you get singing from Kate.
I don't know how I've never made it. Under Frank, teams won't like playing us, especially at our beautiful stadium. We will be in every game from start to finish, be it Liverpool, Chelsea, or promoted teams. Levy has to do his part, though.
She hasn't made it because she can't sing.
Oh, I can't believe you said that. That's really
What did I say?
You always said I can sing.
Oh, no, you could hear me. I didn't think you could hear me.
You pillock. Levy out is watching from X, says Ange out, Levy out. We posted this stream. Thank you for the support. It really helps the channel. We're only a small little channel, so anything helps. Thank you very much. Danny Branchflower vibes, thinking man's manager. Yeah.
I must admit, Kate, since we knew he was coming, I've done a lot of homework on him, and I'm really, really excited. I wasn't at first. Maybe because I didn't really know much about him. I knew he'd done well with Brentford because of the size of their club and their budget. But I'm really excited after reading a lot about him and watching people talk about him.
I remember that song, Frankie. Do you remember me, Frankie? See, look, that's pure talent, raw talent right there, and you're getting that for free. You can't. No other channel, no other YouTube Spurs channel offers you that sort of entertainment. I'm just saying. Big up Jamie says, big up panel. Good appointment by Spurs. Let's hope he's working on signing players already. Levy says, big up Kateandjimbo, big up to you. Thank you to the 104 watching on YouTube and the 56 watching on X. You're all legends. The Deaconator says, question for the panel, 3 realistic signings for this window. I am going to go Semenyo, Eze, Nathan Collins. They're my 3 signings, Nathan Collins, Eze and Semenyo.
Realistic. He's saying realistic.
That is realistic.
Who did you say?
I said Semenyo from Bournemouth, Nathan Collins from Brentford, and Eze from Palace.
But I tell you what, I'm going to go. I would love to get them 3, but I wouldn't mind Mbeumo in there as well.
Yeah, I think he's going to go Man U. And I wouldn't mind Gyökeres either, but look, they're the 3 I think are realistic. Frankie Goes to Hollywood songs coming into chance. Yes. During this show, I finished chapter 5 of The Cost of Silence. Joey, it's my dream to write a book. And I tried to write a non-fiction one, which I couldn't do. It's too hard. But I've had this idea for a fiction book for years. And I think it'd make a great TV show. I've just never written the book. And at the minute, I haven't got time. But Jimbo should write a book about his life because he's led a life that no one on this planet, I believe, has led the same life as him, where he worked for the Prince for 25 years and worked with Michael Jackson and traveled the world and went to the White House and met the president and all these things, and how his life's changed now. I think his book could be fascinating. But maybe one day, Jim, maybe one day you'll write something, or we'll get someone
I
in to
won't
write
write it, darling. I can't even spell my name. How am I going to write a book? I've problems spelling my own name.
J-E-M. Oh. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, Billy. He's not here anymore. Time to move on. Need to raise the prices with that singing because you need lessons. Oh, Shemtan. That's harsh.
What's he say? What's he say?
You need to raise the prices of the memberships for the singing because I need lessons quick. In my head, in my ears, that sounds frigging amazing. I've got to be honest. This will be my last one. Whatever that is. What? Kate don't know the words. Probably not.
Most songs she sings, she don't know the words.
No, I just make them up. I do make them up, but as long as they rhyme, it's fine. See, that rhymes.
You're a poet, you know it.
I know. Andy Crown, yeah, big up to you. Jimbo smoking the truth drug. Yeah. Morgan Gibb White. They've put a 70 million price tag on him, though.
I do like him.
I like him, but that is ridiculous.
Every time I see him, I think of Solanke. He just reminds me of Solanke with the way they look. Yeah, I think they look really similar.
Gary says, Frank is the closest manager we've appointed to Bill Nick or Birkinshaw. Both wasn't considered stellar and both had a core, solid but quiet body of work. It was never what we don't have, but what we do. I think that's fair to say. A couple of people have raised that, and I think that's fair to say. Well, United ain't getting Gyökeres now, as he's going to be out of the price of other clubs, as they've raised the price from 60 to under the 100 million release clause, but around 80 mil. Eze, Semenyo, Gyökeres, Paulinho. Yeah, Paulinho, it's bargain. We'll sell him Son Riches, Solomon Basuma. Would love to see something like that. Yeah, good call. You'll need your own channel, The Life of Jim. Yeah. I thought it was okay singing, but I'm on hard. Big up. Oh, I nodded off, but it sounded like some sort of banshee coming from my speakers, and it woke me up. Hoover, I was serenading you, and I thought it sounded magnificent, to be honest. Isn't it funny how in my head it sounds really good?
I'm sure it does, darling.
Jimbo did a book. It would be well dirty. The snooker table chapter.
There would 100% be a chapter on the snooker table. Sorry.
Ignore all targets till it's announced. Where they've put a 70 million price tag on Semenyo 2K, as Bournemouth are going to be cut dry now. Yeah, I know. Let's pray it's Frankie Goes Hollywood, not Frankenstein. Yes. I only found this channel today. Good find. I'm enjoying it. You're a breath of fresh air. Thank you. Come on, you purrs. We do try and have a bit of a laugh on this channel. It's not too serious.
Everything in life's too serious. Let's keep this nice and light.
David Clark says, I think Joe Lewis has sent in his own man to put huge pressure on Levy. Levy estimates our club's worth $5 billion, whereas experts say it's not worth more than 3.25. Yeah, in all honesty, it's only worth what someone would pay for it.
Yeah, I think maybe 5 billion is too much. I mean, I do, but I mean, you know what puts our price up is the training facilities and the stadium. You know, I mean, if you walked into Chelsea, you walked into Liverpool, you walked into Man United, you know, you'd have to do work to their stadiums because their stadiums are pony compared to ours. I mean,
all Andy's assistants have gone. Just quickly, go on, Jim.
I was just saying, even Arsenal Stadium, even though it's not that old, I think I don't like it at all. It seems dingy to me.
Yeah. Some very bitter people since Andy's been sacked. I don't like it. Writing isn't as hard as people think. With AI tools, it's even easier. It gives you ideas. I suggest using it as a tool, not a crutch. Yeah, I hear ya. Jimbo's book title, 15 Shades of Red, Yellow, Green, Brown, Blue, Pink and Black. That's a great title, Coov. I'm not going to lie. I'm so happy. Coaching, tactics, stability. Welcome, Thomas Frank, Coys. Everyone's announced it except Spurs. I think Lewis has put in Peter Charrington, ex-CEO of Citibank and advisor to Enoch and Tavistock, and he actually lives on the Tavistock estate in the Palmers, and he will take over from Levy. Ex-CEO of Citibank, that's who your governor used to own, isn't it, Jimbo?
Yeah, he used to be a big shareholder in it.
Yeah. Just checking there's not been no, there's no announcement. Jimbo and Kate, did either of you watch Mobland? It's on our list to watch, but we haven't watched it yet because neither of us are that excited or enamored to watch it. I will watch it because it's got Tom Hardy in it, but I'm not overly. A lot of the gangster things get on my nerves, but we will watch it at some point. We've got The Handmaid's Tale to watch next. Got the statue coming for Father's Day. Ours has been posted, our trophy, but it's not going to be here in time for Father's Day. Joey, don't apologise. You waffle away. We're all waffling.
Yeah, we like a waffle in here, Joey.
Yeah, maybe they will follow him. Who knows?
Is Ben streaming today?
I don't know. What time is it? Oh, I don't know. Thomas Frank appointment after Greenwich. Yeah, we will watch it. We just haven't. We're in the middle of Criminal Minds at the minute, which has got 1,000 series. So Frank is light years tactically over Ange. They will be making silly videos, arranging a press conference. Yeah, we will. Like I say, we will watch it. But the next on the list is the last series of Handmaid's Tale.
Now 2:30 streaming.
Oh, all right.
So we got till 2:30. I just realised the time. Don't want to run into Benji's.
I wonder if they changed it because we're streaming. I didn't even realise.
No,
what would your expectations be of Frank next season? On one hand, we just won a trophy. On the other, we finished 17th. Jimbo and I both said that we'd like to get top 7 or top 6 and a good cup run. I think is fair. We've got to get into Europe and decent cup run. I think for the first season. Well, every single person in here, Jim, said Mobland's excellent.
Oh, well, we'll watch it for definite. Let me just message Ben.
I recommend the 7-part TV show on Apple called Hijack, starring Idris Elba. Absolutely phenomenal. Oh, I think I've seen that advertised. I like a bit of Idris. Rohan says, loving your energy, Katie. Thank you. Not one who's normally got a lot of that, but maybe because I'm sitting down, I can give out the energy. And I'm excited. It's a good time to be alive. Spurs are bringing in a good new manager. It's exciting times. Seems Alfie Whiteman has released a statement after leaving the club, which he had reached his potential. Can you imagine if they filmed his announcement with him at the Thomas the Tank Engine World? Oh, my God, Thomas Land. We used to go there with William when he was little. It was his favourite place. What a great place that is. If anyone's got little boys, take them to Drayton Manor, Thomas Land. It is the best place. And we went at Christmas and it was blizzarding with snow and they have Santa there and there's reindeer and I miss having a little boy. I've got a big grown-up boy now.
And me.
And you. They dragged out Handmaid's Tale too long when I read. Yeah, the books are phenomenal, but I actually really enjoy the series. But it's only one season left, so we're going to watch that because it's one of my favourite shows of all time. Good morning, Bobby K. Mwah, 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 mwah. There was 4 kisses there, one for each of you. Hope you are doing well.
Right, Bobby.
What part of Idris? I like all of Idris. Idris is rather lovely. Watch the parody Brosnan screencastings for Mobland and the Helen Mirren one. Oh, Higgin hay fever. Samaritana says, "Come on, you Spurs."
I told Ben you'll do a redirect to him.
Yeah, I will.
Always.
I've got it set up. I've just set it up. I was just hoping that we'd get the proper announcement before we close.
Well, we've got 20 minutes. We can still waffle on here. We like a waffle.
No, but it's annoying. I want it to happen now.
Well, it still might, darling. They've just done Man United confirmed signing of Mateus Cunha.
Bloody hell. That was ages ago. Man United confirmed Cunha signing 5-year deal plus options until June 31. 62.5 million deal completed. You know, a lot of people saying he's got a stinking attitude. There's a lot of people that said that there's a Wolves fan that comes in here. It might have been Ryan who said that a lot of Wolves fans are really glad he's gone because his attitude stinks. So I'm not sure.
United, then.
Yeah, lots of egos there. Don't forget to hit the like button. It helps the channel. It really does, especially small channels like us. David Clark says, I was in charge of the Glenfield Hospital Leicester Children's Heart Ward, and the downstairs was dedicated to Thomas the Tank Engine and the Fat Controller. That's Jimbo. He's the Fat Controller.
That's what my boy used to say to me when I was young. When he was young, he used to think I was the Fat Controller. Now
you're just fat and controlling.
Ah.
Don't let me do anything.
Yeah, I'm
not
sure.
Really. Not really. I had the worst hay fever yesterday, but now it's man flu. It's just, I don't know what it is. It's not like normal hay fever. It's just really snotty nose. But I've had a sinus infection, I think, and so it's not helping. Big up Robbie. Says big up Kateandjimbo. Hope you're both well. Chuffed with disappointment. Brentford from middle of the Championship to an established Premier League side with a £70 million net spend, tactically flexible. Yeah. Joey said exactly the same as you about Cunha. It fit right in at United then. Just seen someone say Frank reminds him of Birkinshaw. Yeah, a couple of people have said it, not just one.
Wonder how much relegated.
Yeah. Wonder how much prizing the Brentford staff cost leaving. No transfers for us. Idris Elba, Luther, what a show, and also Strike on BBC One. Luther was unreal, and the film, I loved the film as well.
I could watch Luther again. I love that show.
Yeah, Alice, just so many great characters in that show. Not a fan of the Gibbs White news. Well, I'm not a fan of the £70 million price tag. That's freaking ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. 250 million gets those 4 players. Selling Son 40 mil. I think we'll get more than that for Son. Richie 30 mil, Basuma 30 mil, Solomon 20. That's 120 in and 250 out. Net spend of 130. That's achievable. We need you as our accountant, Paul. Right to leave it and explain. Can't wait till next season to banter Gooners with champions of Europe. You'll never say that exactly.
I know.
You two are my kind of people, though I'm not Barrymore. Thanks, Gary. You said you knew us already. I'm really confused. Do you think Thomas Frank is capable of winning a trophy? Absolutely. He's capable of winning us a domestic trophy, 100%.
Yeah, he is, Billy. Of course he is. Look, winning trophies, right, is a lot of it's to do with who gets knocked out by who. You know, sometimes lower teams knock out bigger teams, and what sort of teams you come up against. There's a lot of there's so much involved in winning trophies. You know, sometimes you go in a competition in the first few rounds. You know, a lot of the big teams get knocked out, and it gives you that bit more of a spur to go on and win it. So you play better teams, you know, than what you would have done. if you're in multiple competitions. So a lot of it is how it pans out, you know. And you come look at us in the Europa League. I thought it panned out really well for us in the end. But at the end of the day, you beat what's in front of you and you lift the trophy. Exactly what we done. So when people say, "Well, you didn't beat anyone substantial," I don't care. You beat who's in front of you to win that trophy.
Mm. Yeah, the loser film is called The Fallen Sun. It was out in 2023. It's about a murder that he couldn't solve. It's absolutely brilliant. I really enjoyed the film as well. So make sure you watch it. The Fallen Sun. I think it's on Netflix actually. Angie's train is stalled at the junction, and we're now boarding Thomas the Frank engine. I've been through the Luther box set half a dozen times. One of the best shows and casts.
Yeah.
3 times, I think, Jim, haven't we? 3 times.
Alice is one of my favourite characters that's ever been on TV. I absolutely loved her.
Yes, I think you'll see Archie tonight in the under-21 squad. New scene about it's all the same. Oh yeah, we're slutting ourselves about all over the place. Who had heard of Tony, Conte, Watkins, and Buemo, Wissa before Frank trained them? And some fans think Frank's not better than Ange. I know, Colin. I know.
To me, I mean, look, it's not about who's better than who. It's about who does what, right? And Ange won us a trophy, so every single Spurs fan should be grateful for that. If you was Ange in or Ange out, you should just be over the moon that he won us that trophy and praise him for that. But look, as I said about 5 times on already, we have to move on now. Ange is gone. We support Spurs. You know, if you want to support Ange as well, that's fine. Watch him at his next club as well. But now we have to get behind Frank because we support Spurs and we want Spurs to win the trophies. So it's a matter of getting behind Thomas Frank now.
Robbie says, all of a sudden the Gooners are diminishing the Europa. How can a competition you failed to win multiple times and never have been below you? Exactly. Ignore the Gooners. They don't know what trophies are. They're like,
it's true. How can they diminish it when they don't win them?
Exactly. Bobby says we can't suddenly start thinking we're serial winners, and unless Frank wins a trophy imminently, he's a failure. Ange did something special, but that doesn't make managers like Poch and Redknapp failures. This is what I tried to explain on the football terrace, and I said it's like people that say Kane didn't win at Spurs, so therefore he's a loser. It's not as black and white as that. You can't just say if you don't win, you're a loser, because there's only 3 or 4 trophies every season to be won. I think it's so ridiculous that people black and white that so much.
You got to think of when Poch was here, right? That semi-final against Ajax. Are we ever going to forget that? Even though we didn't win the competition, right? It was that little bit one step too far. That semi-final was just immense.
Jim's watching The Old Man at the minute, isn't you?
Yeah, I like that. Who's put that?
Robbie. He's watching the second viewing of The Sopranos. I love The Sopranos. Never seen Ted Lasso, and Jim's watching The Old Man.
Yeah, it's good.
I think it was Ruth Ellis, isn't it? Is that her name?
I don't know, but I loved her. I loved her character.
It is Alice Morgan was played by Ruth Wilson. So I don't know where you got Ruth Ellis. It's Ruth Wilson.
Well,
You're nearly there.
She was halfway there.
Halfway there. I agree, Jim. Wanted Ange to go, but with a smile and a thank you. Exactly.
Yeah, of course. He's down in our history now. We have to love him because he's down in our history. But look, at the end of the day, Thomas Frank's our new manager. So come on, the Thomas.
Choo-choo. Arsenal lost to Villarreal, Olympiacos, Sporting Lisbon. They didn't drop down from Champions League yet. I know. So all this, it was easier this year. They didn't even lose to Champions League opposition when they were in it. Tony didn't look that happy. Money, not everything. Big up Lee Statham. Hope you're well. I was Angie and was gutted how he got relieved of his duties, but it's happened. I'm a Spurs fan. I'll back any manager and any player who comes in unless they show me different. Exactly, Drew. That's the way it should be. Have you watched Banshee?
I have.
Jim loves that.
Yeah, I love it.
Sons of Anarchy.
Very sexy lady in that. Very sexy.
Sons of Anarchy, I could watch every day with the sound off because it's got Charlie Hunnam in it, and I love him. Boardwalk Empire, we got bored of after about 3 or 4 seasons. And The Killing, I've never seen that.
No, nor have I. I'm going to have to look that up now.
Please do hit the like and subscribe button. I don't know how many likes we're on, but we have had 18 new subscribers today. So thank you very much indeed. The players did something special that night. You can clearly see the players took it upon themselves to win that final. Not Angie's doing. Don't let this snake tongue gaslight you. Ooh. Interesting. Where are we? I've gotten over the Ange sack. Got to get behind. Thomas Frank seems knowledgeable. Champions League experience is a concern, but hey, yeah. But you know what? A lot of people like you learn on the job, right? It's like Jim says. There's loads of people that haven't won trophies till they win it. So, hated Gangs of London. Hated it. Thought it was awful. I've never seen Ted Lasso, neither's Jimbo. I don't know if it's our sort of thing, actually. We did put it on our watch list and then never watched it. And yes, Ruth Ellis was the last woman to get hanged. She definitely wasn't in Luther. It's a real feel-good comfort show. What, Ted Lasso? We like to watch things about serial killers. We're in the middle of Criminal Minds. It's so brutal at times, but that's what we watch.
At times, it's quite shocking. Right, Jacob.
Big up, Jacob. Yes, it is Trash Can Tommy Day. Yeah, it's been announced by Fabrizio Romano. It's been announced by Ben Jacobs. It's been announced by TalkSport, David Ornstein, but it hasn't yet been announced by Spurs. So everyone else has announced it today except Spurs. Sopranos gets better over time. Paulie's up there with the funniest characters. That episode where they're in the woods and he loses his shoe. Oh my God, that makes me want to wee myself every time I watch it. CJ Perry, she's a WWE star, the one out of Banshee, Jimbo.
Oh, is she? Shit, she's sexy as F.
You won't like Charlie Hunnam. I know he plays Ed Gein, or Gain, however you say it, the serial killer. But trust me, I will still love him. He can serial kill me anytime he likes. And I'm
waiting for that to come out.
I love him. I've never seen him in anything I haven't loved because I love him. He's in Papillon and he gets his full bits out. I love him. Jim, do I love him?
I think you do, darling.
I do. But Jacob, it is Here We Go. Everyone said it except Spurs at the minute. So they're obviously waiting to make an announcement. I don't think it's going to happen while we're on. I think it's going to be about 5 o'clock now. Just a guess. But everyone else has announced it. So it's imminent. They're probably doing one of their funny little videos. If I get one more hair transplant advert, I'm done. They know I'm bored. We was talking about Mercedes Vitos the other day, the cars or the vans. Next thing we know, Jim's getting messages from them. They're listening. Everyone's listening.
We was talking about them in the front room. And the next thing I know, I start getting messages everywhere about the Vito. That's freaky. Absolutely freaky.
Managers, players, staff all come and go, but the fans stay. Can't go against the new manager because of opinions on the last one behind whoever represents our club on the sidelines. Yep, completely agree. Charlie was superb in Sons, but shocking as King Arthur. Oh, I loved him in King Arthur. I love him. I loved him in Papillon. I loved him in Shantaram. I love him in everything. He's yummy. Big up, Jacob. If you're not careful, people might think you're unhappy about Ange going. We will sign someone when the manager's in place, which will be sometime today. So do not fear. There's so much time. There's plenty of time. Don't panic, Mr. Mannering. Big up, Daniel Sandoval. One love to you. It's been a really, do you know what? I didn't feel like doing the show today. Thomas Frank's footballing philosophy. I don't know how exactly you'd explain it, but he improves youngsters and he's flexible. He plays different against whoever. So you can never predict how he's going to play. But I don't know what his actual footballing philosophy is. But I mean, after watching Ange for 2 years or 2 seasons, I don't know what his is either. To be perfectly honest. Oh, Goliath was magnificent. Loved that. Absolutely brilliant. Coover, it's easy to assume, but even easier to just hear the words I say. Life is blessed, except the inevitable return of Spursy like Michael Myers in Halloween. Jacob, it's all going to be good. And no, not Ange. Stop saying Ange, Kate. Frank will take us to the promised land. I'm convinced. good times ours are coming. But I was actually going to say I didn't feel particularly up to doing the show today, and it's been a really enjoyable, fun show.
Nice and chilled. That's how it should be. No stress.
Oh,
Too
do you
much
know
stress
what,
in life.
Ed? I need to read the book, right? Because series 1 ends on a cliffhanger where he's captured and he's hanging, he's tied up, and then they cancelled the show, so we don't even know what happened after that. But I need to read Shantaram. I keep thinking to myself, I've got to read it.
I couldn't believe they cancelled it. It was such a good show.
It's because it was filmed in India and cost so much money. It's always a step into the unknown, mate. I'm sure you'll see something worthwhile in time.
Of course he will.
Have you seen?
Jacob will be back on board with Frank soon. Don't worry.
Have you seen Tulsa King? No, but I do want to see that as well because I like.
Yeah, someone told me that was brilliant.
Yeah, there's so many good shows out there. It's been a lovely show. It has, hasn't it, Drewlo? It's been a really nice show. Lots of nice people having nice conversations, having a bit of a laugh, getting breaking news from correspondents all over the country. You know, it's been good fun. That interview with Thomas Frank did with Gary Lineker was weird. It looked like a date. Yeah, it did look a bit like that. Been watching Only Fools and Halls against recently, 50-minute ones with Albert, best show ever. I do love the ones with Grandad, but my favourite ever episode is the Jolly Boys outing. I know it word for word. I've seen it that many times. It's just such a brilliant show. The dollies, the blow-up dolls, makes me wet myself every single time I see that one. There's just so many brilliant episodes. The Chandelier with Grandad was a good one. The Butterfly with Denzel. There's so many good ones.
Turbinator.
The Turbinator, yeah, that one. The one where he wins the drawing competition in the under 15s or whatever it is. Oh my god, yeah. The blow up dolls is just hilarious. Big up the best Spurs couple on the internet, but yay guys, I'm so happy for relevancy without glory. Like we're really back, yo. Jacob, I'm getting your sarcasm there. Now behave yourself. Let's give Ed, who's Ed? Let's give Thomas Frank a chance. I'm sure
Jacob will give him a chance. Don't worry about that. You let him get it out of his system, and then he'll be on board. As soon as we win a few games, Jacob will be on board. Right,
I'm going to get Shanta. I'm going to buy that for myself. Oh, to Hull and back. That was hilarious. A community built of THFC, but able to comfortably talk about anything. That's a community and proves there's more to life, and connection is key. I'll start music next. I would love to just carry on this conversation, but Ben is streaming in 3 minutes, and I don't like to go over his time slot. And I have done how's your disease, Denzel? It is not a disease. It is an ear infection. And when they get Mrs. Criswell and he goes, you've just got her out of her coffin. It's so funny, that program. And when the girl's singing and he goes, yeah, we're like they're all sitting there. He goes, yeah, the singer will be on in a minute. I love it. I absolutely love Only Fools and Horses. I watched the documentary on Open Gate and the Titanic sub, and my God, I feel bad for 4 out of the 5 people who passed away. As for the guy who owned OG, I don't know what all that means. Landman with Billy Bob Thornton, also good. Kate, Tulsa King. I know, that's what I mean. There's so many that are good.
I want to see the Tulsa King. I'm not sure it'll be a bit of UK, but you can start it with me. If you don't like it, I'll watch it when I get up early in the mornings.
I'm going to finish it there because we have got Ben coming on. I've done a redirect. I didn't get to make the announcement, although I kind of did, because I've got to do it with David Ornstein, Ben Jacobs, and everyone else, just not the official Sky Sports one. But look, it's been a brilliant show. I've really, really, really enjoyed it. What's that? If you get a chance, where the crow? Oh, I've seen that film. Have we seen that film, or is it on our list? I think it's on our list.
Which one?
Where the crawdads sing.
No, I don't think we've seen it yet.
Thank you very much to Vindaloo for the £10 super chat. Thank you so much.
Walked into the show and there was a £10 super chat. How sweet was that?
Thank you very much to Leo, who's been a member for 10 months as well. And thank you to the
Thank you to everyone for coming in.
18 new subscribers. Thank you to everyone who's commented, liked, shared, watched on X, watched on YouTube, just done whatever. We really appreciate you all. Have a good rest of your day. Happy Thomas Frank announcement day. Jimbo, do you want to empty or end the show as only you can?
Get behind Frank because the quad is on next year. Don't listen to Jacob. Listen to Jimbo, right? The JJs. One's right, one's wrong. Frank will win us the quad. Come on, you Spurs.
Giving opinions with no regret, smashing the top bins like in the onion net. Talking the talk with Kate and Jim, and walking the walk, just listen in. The perfect match, Kate and Jim, getting at it. Kate and Jim are gonna smash it. Reviews, previews, opinions and laughter. Mix and transfer news, it's what you're after. The perfect match, the perfect match. You just got to latch onto that perfect match. The perfect match, the perfect match. You just got to latch onto that perfect match. Jimbo always keeps a positive spin, while Kate's Mickey has a name dropping. Gets you out of the blue like Lenny stop robbing, or she's just flip-flopping. Hell, this place is popping. The perfect match, you just got to latch onto that perfect match. The perfect match, the perfect match, you just got to latch onto that perfect match.